Welcome to Networking Arizona with host Carol Blonder. You'll hear interviews with businesses located throughout the valley. Networking, it makes a difference.
If I traded it.
So welcome to the show, everyone. As all of you know, I made it possible for everybody to talk about themselves on the radio, and that's what we're doing right here. Everyone's talking about what they do. If you want to get yourself heard on the show, just give me a call here at the station. I'll get you hooked up with me. So get you on Networking Arizona. Our number here is 602-277-5369. And yes, it can be done from anywhere in the world. So if you have a web-based business, you can call in at 1-866-536-1100. I'm going in with my first guest, and yes, Ted has been on a lot, and I know as everyone goes, oh my God, Ted again. But yes, Ted is on again, and Ted has been doing this with me for over 7 years now. I have Ted Watkins. He is an enrolled agent, and he's been doing this since 1978. And yes, you come on a lot, but there's a reason why you come on a lot. And every time you come on, I don't care what it is, people call me that, Carol, I heard him, I need him, I want him. Tell them what you do.
Okay, well, it's great to be back, Carol. I always look forward to doing the radio show with you. So
every day.
A lot of you have probably heard me before, but if you haven't, my name's Ted Watkins, and I'm what's called an enrolled agent before IRS. And what that means is I'm not an employee of the IRS, but I am licensed by the federal government, by the Department of Treasury, actually. And so what I do, first of all, I can represent you throughout the whole country. So all 50 states, and then like Guam and Puerto Rico and all those places. And so what I do is enrolled agents, we do a lot of tax returns, of course. But the reason I've come on and keep coming on is...
You like it.
I like it, and I like to help people, too. So I represent people that have tax issues, and since the meltdown, unfortunately, that's more and more people have had tax issues over the last 7 years. But what I do is I negotiate settlements with the IRS, and I can also work with the Arizona Department of Revenue, and I came from California, so I still do a lot of work with the California Franchise Tax Board. So if you haven't filed in quite a few years, or if you have filed at no taxes that you haven't been able to pay, that's where I come in, and I can negotiate a settlement, usually a payment agreement, but we can negotiate a payment agreement that you can live with, and IRS doesn't always propose payment agreements that are reasonable for people. So that's where an enrolled agent comes in.
But also, when you make that phone call to the IRS for them, it stops all the calls that are coming to you.
That's right.
All the letters, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of nice.
That is, yeah. Once you hire me and we file the power of attorney with the IRS, then you don't have to talk to them ever again. And most people don't like talking to them.
Tell them how much that is, because it's very reasonable.
Yeah. So my fee for filing the power of attorney is only $175. And a lot of the companies that do this, we call them tax resolution companies, that most of them are out of LA, Denver, or Miami. Most of them will immediately hit you up for a retainer of anywhere between the smallest I've heard is $3,500, and there's one outfit out of LA that requires $18,000 retainer up front. And they don't even know what your problem is. I mean, and in most cases, $18,000 is ridiculous unless you have a...
It's ridiculous no matter what.
Yeah, well, unless you're maybe a company with some really severe problems. But for the average taxpayer, I mean, that's crazy.
Right.
I mean, that may be more than what you owe.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to make it also very clear, too, that you are an enrolled agent, and yes, you can help people that are in trouble that haven't done their taxes. But yes, Ted can also help you, even if you just want somebody like Ted, who has the sharpest pencil I've ever seen in my life. He's also very meticulous. He really is going to watch out for everything for you. He doesn't charge any more just because he's an enrolled agent. I want to talk about that. So even if you just want your taxes done by a professional since 1978, he can do that for you too.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want to mislead you. I mean, I have over 600 tax clients that most of whom don't really have any tax issues. So we do all types of personal returns, business returns. I do a little estate and trust tax returns. And I also, one service that I offer for free, no cost to you, is I'll go back 3 years, 2013, 14, and 15, and I'll take a look at your tax returns for you. And if they've been done properly by you or by another tax person, then I'll just tell you, hey, the returns look great, and we'll go from there. But if there's some mistakes that look like to have been made or some things you've left out, then I would recommend that you do an amended tax return. And you can unfortunately only do an amended tax return for the last 3 years. So if it's older than that, unfortunately, I can't help you.
Well, here's what Ted likes to do. He loves to give things away, and I'm going to hopefully have enough time to say it all. First of all, Ted has a tax organizer that's incredible. It's 15 pages long. It'll be 16 next year, I think, 16
Probably.
pages.
It went from 14 to 15.
So it's going to go up. But here's the thing about it. It has everything, but you do not have to be intimidated by it in any way. I think it's something that every person should have in their office because there's every tax deduction you can possibly think of. But you can just go to what works for you in the area that you're looking for and look at it, and it'll have everything in there. You're getting that for free. You're also going to get his record retention guide. That's 4 pages long. He says it's the number one question that he gets asked about what to keep, how long to keep it. That's all here for you for free. Also, he's going to give you a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card. He's also entering everyone in to win a free business, personal or personal tax return. Business or personal tax return for 2015 or 16. So if you haven't done in 2015 and if you have 2016, that is at least $450 value free to you. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He has 2 Valley locations. One is in North Phoenix. The other one is North Scottsdale. He does free consultations. You can call him at 602-363-1952 or 480-707-7670, or call in here, get entered in to win all of this cool stuff. It's free stuff to you, and it will help you. I know that your all of your files are filled in all over the floor like mine, so let's get organized now. Our number here again, 602-277-5369, and for everyone throughout the country that he can help, it's toll free, 1-866-536-1100. I have no more breath. Go ahead.
Okay.
Talk about what we want to talk about today.
Okay. Well, my tax organizer is really a great tool for you. So it's on my website, which is tedwatkinsea.com. On the home page, there's a little icon that says Tax Center, and just click on that, and you can download it. It's in PDF. It's kind of a one-size-fits-all. It covers if you own your own little small business, if you own rental property, if you've sold stocks and bonds. But if that doesn't apply to you, it also applies to people who work for a company. And it goes over the tax deductions that a lot of the ones you may not be familiar with. So if you spend 10 or 15 minutes on that, then I can almost guarantee you're going to save a lot of tax dollars or get a bigger refund, which is what we all want, right? So also my record retention guide is pretty helpful too. I've broken it down into documents that you should keep for 1, 3, 6 years, and then forever. And that's for both business and personal type documents. Now that I still haven't gotten that one loaded up on the website yet, but
that's okay. You can get it. Call in here.
Yeah, and I will. If you're not an internet person too, will mail you the tax organizer and the record retention guide as well. So I would urge you to spend just a few minutes on those. But if you don't have the time, I do have a 1-page form I did come up with. It's called What to Bring With You to Your Tax Interview, and that covers most of the items you'll need. We're
going to go to a break. When we come back, I want to talk further, because you said you also want to talk about the Trumps. I can't even get it out. See, that's how
Donald J's tax proposal.
His tax proposal, okay. But we're going to have our lines open here for everyone. You can call throughout the rest of the show for all of these things that I'm giving away today that I have here on the show. Again, Ted is going to give you the tax organizer you're going to get by calling in here, the record retention guide, a Walmart card or a Starbucks card. He goes back for you the last 3 years for free. He does free consultations. He's entering everyone in to win a business or personal tax return for 2015 if you haven't done things, and 2016 if you have, and that's a $450 value free to you right there. Give us a call here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check him out. It's TedWatkinsEA.com. He has 2 Valley locations. One is in North Scottsdale. The other one is in North Phoenix. His phone number direct. He does free consultations at 602-363-1952 or 480-707-7670. Or give us a call here and get entered in to win all this stuff.
Traded it all
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Ted Watkins. He is an enrolled agent, and he has been doing it since 1978. We have our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win his tax organizer, which I believe everyone should have. Everyone should have it. His record retention guide, I believe everyone should have that too. That's either for business or personal. Also, he does free consultations for everyone. He's going to give everyone, he's going to go back for you for 3 years for free if you haven't done your taxes. He's also going to give everybody a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card, and he loves to give stuff away. We're also going to enter everybody in to win a free business or personal or business tax return for 2015 if you haven't done anything, and 2016 if you have. He is the best. He's helped a lot of people. People call all of the time looking for Ted. He can also help everyone throughout the country. So our number here, call in, get all this cool stuff at 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about Trump's Mr. T.
Mr. T.
What his tax proposal?
Well, a lot of you may have heard some of the new president-elect's tax proposal. And the first one that applies to individuals is right now there's 7 different tax brackets ranging from 10% to up to 39% or 39.6%. And then if you add in the 3.8% Obamacare tax, you're over 43%. Now, what Mr. Trump proposes to do is to reduce those brackets down to 3. Now, I haven't heard exactly what the brackets, percentage brackets that he's proposed are, but we would assume that they'll be a lot lower than they are now, or somewhat lower, at least hopefully. A lot of you also probably have heard about the corporate tax reduction. He's proposed to reduce the corporate tax rate down to 15%, and currently the top bracket is 35%. And we actually have the second highest corporate tax rate in the world, right behind Japan. So how does he propose to pay for all these goodies? So what he's doing is, you've probably heard a lot of these big companies like Apple and Johnson & Johnson and so forth have a lot of money stashed offshore. Like, for example, Apple has over about $250 billion with a B money that's offshore, not in the United States. So what he's proposed to do is a one-time 10% tax. Then these corporations could bring that money into the country and not have to pay any more taxes with it. And that's how he's supposedly going to finance a lot of these infrastructure projects that he has. And if I don't think he'll build a wall, but if he were to build a wall, that's primarily where the money would be coming from, because obviously if he lowers the brackets for both personal and corporations, then that's going to reduce their tax revenues. And we already run about a $500 billion or so annual deficit. So hopefully that's going to work. I mean, we'll wait and see. But the only thing is, if these corporations don't bring the money back into the country, then he's going to have to scramble around with some other alternatives on how to pay for all these tax cuts, because our national debt is almost $20 trillion with a T. So I don't see how he can really add to that by issuing too many more bonds. But there should be, if he can get these corporations to bring the money back in, individuals and small companies and large companies as well should see a big reduction in your taxes. And I think. What
about us smaller people?
Well, if he reduces the brackets, that'll be
It'll affect
us
in a nice way then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And if he gets rid of Obamacare, then that tax is actually only on higher income people. Mm-hmm. But still, if he reduces the brackets down to, I've heard some numbers where the top bracket would be 25%. It's still going to save a lot of people a lot of money. So hopefully that we'll see that.
We have to. This is the we'll see kind of thing.
That's
we'll have
right.
To see
it's
with
kind
everything.
of wait and see.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's kind of a gamble on whether these corporations are going to pay this 10% tax.
Well, you also said that you had a story that you wanted to talk about, and I want to kind of see if you'd like to get that out before
we can
get all these goodies that you're giving away out.
Yeah. But this story is a war story, we call them, and this is a person who came off of the radio show. Thank you very much.
Another one, yeah.
And we've kind of talked about this in the past, where people wait a long time before they call me.
Yeah, what is that?
This person waited for about 2 years, but I did have another gentleman that waited for about 4 years to give me a call. So anyway, this guy first started listening to me in 2014. He called me about a week and a half or so ago, and he owes taxes from 2006 through 2012. So it's about 60,000, I think, is the total. And the reason, or the good thing for him is calling me, is when I called the IRS, in fact, just yesterday, I found out that they had taken him off what they call currently not collectible status and put him in active collection status.
They were ready to pounce.
That's right, on October 17th of this year.
Wow.
So less than a month ago. Now, the good news is the IRS doesn't usually issue levies during the holiday season, but there's no guarantee. But so anyway, he hasn't also he's filed all his returns except for the 2015. So once we get him to file or prepare that return and get it filed, then we'll probably, he has a pretty good job, so we'll probably have to get him in a monthly payment agreement with the IRS and probably the Arizona Department of Revenue. So if he'd waited until after the holidays, though, on like January 2nd, 3rd, then they would have probably started levying his bank accounts, wages, salaries, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. A lot of people, we have mentioned this, a lot of people do listen to this show for many, many years. I know that for a fact. And thank you, listeners, for that. I appreciate it. And so do my guests. But also for the fact that there are a lot of people who listen and don't really call in right away. And, you know, they say they're procrastinators, or they say, you know what, I should do that, but I don't know, maybe not now, maybe tomorrow, they forget or whatever. And people, like I said, they'll email me, they'll call me, Carol, I've heard Ted, they'll call the station, you know. So, you know, give him a call. This is all free stuff that he's getting. Talk to you about, you're going to get all this free stuff for him, but it's a conversation so that you can find out how he can give you some peace of mind. Getting caught up, it's got to be a fantastic feeling for a lot of those people that you help. And you've helped thousands of people being on my show for so long.
That's true.
So he has two locations. One is in North Scottsdale. The other one is in North Phoenix. His website, check him out. It is tedwatkinsea.com. He does free consultations. So you can call him direct at 602-363-1952 or 480-707-7670. He can help anyone in the United States. So everybody out there with listening in, you can also call in because he'll help you. He's licensed in all 50 states. He's going to give you a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card. He also is going to go back to you for the last 3 years if you haven't done your taxes for free. To do work with him, and if you need a power of attorney, it's only $175 to find out what he can do for you. So it's really worth it to at least find out what he can do. And then, of course, he's entering everyone in to get a free either business or personal tax return for 2015 or 2016, depending on whether you haven't done or whether you have done them. And he does have the sharpest pencil. You're going to get the tax organizer, the record retention guide, which I believe everyone should have. I'm going to let you call throughout the rest of the show for all of this. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We have 2 minutes.
Okay. I would say that from now through the end of the year is my slowest time of the year. So, and I'm not going anywhere for the holidays, so I will be here from now through December 31st.
Come and have Christmas with Ted.
Okay. So I have a time to sit down and do, if you have back tax returns that need to be prepared, we can do those for you. And then we can also, IRS does slow down a bit too. Like I got through on my 800 line in about 2 minutes this morning, which is
unbelievable,
pretty unheard of. Yeah. So it's a good time for me to contact IRS and start working with them. And once I contact them, also we didn't really mention it, but I can get what they call a collection hold on your account, which means they won't issue any levies against your bank accounts wages. They can take your IRAs. They can take 15% of your Social Security benefits. So they're the most powerful collection agency in the world, and they're slow, but once you're above the radar, as I call it, they're pretty brutal.
They're brutal.
They are very brutal.
So again, we've got our lines open here. Ted, what's your final words real quick?
Okay, well, happy holidays, and I don't think I'm on until after the first of the year.
So I'm going to miss you.
Yeah,
but we've got our lines open here for everyone. Get entered in to win the business personal tax return for either 2015 or 2016. You're going to get the tax organizer, the record retention guide, the Walmart card, the Starbucks card. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free is 1-866-536-1100. Don't forget, he can help anyone throughout the country. Check him out. It's TedWatkinsEA.com.